y'all. I am back again with this nail mani, and it was so easy. I am doing this set with acrylic creamier. This one is Silk Kisses, and the next one is going to be Strawberry. I absolutely love these acrylics. They went on so smooth, and I'm going to be swatching the rest later, but we are back again, y'all, with these dual forms, and this is what they look like. I'm not sure if you can see like the little lines in them, y'all, and it's like a full coverage tip, but they can be popped off. And this is going to be so easy, I promise y'all. And I'm back again using the Patty Gel Coffin dual forms. And I really like these dual forms. At first, I was like, I don't know about these, but I was probably doing it wrong because when I first used them, I was using polygel, and I think I was making the polygel too thick around the cuticles. But anywho, we not talking about that. This is my little handy dandy nail brush, y'all. And I love this nail brush because I think this helped me with my acrylic application. And I don't get a lot of product stuck in this brush. So that's a huge thing because with the cheaper ones, you will get a lot of product stuck in the brush, and I mean, that can be a hassle because if you keep doing like a set, or you have a client and you got to keep trying to stop to get the products out, that's a nuisance. That's a headache. But I absolutely love this brush. I have had this brush for about a year now, and I think it was okay. So I'm gonna say between $25 to $40. I don't know, but I don't think it was $40 because that's too much for me for a nail brush. And y'all can see that I'm just putting the acrylic right into the dual forms, y'all. That is how easy this is, and how fast. I cannot tell you how fast this really was. As you can see right here, I'm just sticking it on that nail, just pushing it down. And I know for the next time that I do this, I will be doing like each hand separately instead of doing all of them all together like you guys see me now, because I think that's why I had like a little problem with this set. But yeah, I forgot to put on the primer and stuff, but I'm just going back in, and that's what you see me doing now. I think I was just too excited, but I I really like this, like doing the acrylics in these dual forms, y'all. Like I said, I cannot say this enough. It was just so freaking easy to do it this way. Like I said, my biggest thing was I just wish that I would have did them one by one so that way I have more control with them until I am, used to it and I do it multiple times. But y'all, let me know if y'all would try this, because I am definitely going to try this again because like I said, this was so easy and so freaking fast, y'all. This is like the fastest other than dip, because I'm not gonna now even try to, toot my own little horn, toot toot. But with acrylic, y'all, dip powder, I'm good with that. If I'm not doing really any extra, designs or anything, I can pretty much finish, I think, a dip set in like maybe 30 to 40 minutes with prep and everything. But that's just on one hand because I usually just do one hand at a time. So about an hour if I did both hands. Like that's how easy dip powder is to me because I got it down pat. So I I just wish, well, I'm not going to say I wish, but that's where I want to get like my application with my acrylics. I want to be able to be maybe 2 hours under, depending on the design that I am doing. But y'all see what I'm doing here? I'm just patting it in this dual form, y'all. Just sticking it on my nails. Wait till it dry. And then I'm sorry about that. And then you're just gonna wait till it dry, and then you are going to like tap it to make sure you hear that click click, like that hard click click sound like that. And then once you hear that sound, you just literally like side to side, and then they just pop right off, you guys, and that's it. That's I mean, that's just easy, just like that. But you will be seeing me going over them to make them thicker, because I didn't make them thicker at the like at the ends. And like I'm missing pieces on some of them, so I just went back around that cuticle area and the side walls, like I told you guys I did with that thumb. And even though I had to do that, y'all, this was still easy. This was still an easy process for me to do. I think the most that it took was for the filing, because I should have made them more into a shape when I was actually putting them in the dual forms, because it's just like polygel, so you can actually make the shape that you want before you even put them on your nails. But you guys, I'm just gonna let you guys watch, and I will be back later. So I'm just gonna let you guys jam out to a little music. See you guys in a little bit. this is what they came out to look like, you guys. And I just want to say thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Bye.